Hi, I'm Charles from Saddleback, and today I'm going to show you how to fit a Kogel Kolossos ceramic radiator cage. First of all, we need to remove the rear wheel. This will give us access to the rear radiator. I've left the chain a little bit longer on purpose because I knew they will be fitting one of these. Just watch out with your chain length, because quite often you might find yourself needing to put a slightly longer one on there because the pulley wheels are just that slightly larger. Remove the wheel. You want to leave the axle out, as you'll see why in a minute. And drop that wheel, pop it to one side. Next, just want to remove the chain. This allows you good access to the rear radio. And pop it to one side. And now you've got good access to that cage and the rear radio. Now, to start off with, we need to shift this to essentially the largest sprocket. So take it up, most extended. This means you can have a nice swing without anything getting in the way. To remove the pulley cage, radiator cage, we need to take a T10 and undo this little bolt in the bottom of the radiator. It's a little bit hidden away, you can see there. And this essentially holds the cage in. Like a cotter pin. There we go. Just hold everything together so it doesn't spring out the way. And there's your pin removed. Again, put that to one side. And now, with Dura, there isn't a stop that we can undo. So if you pull that away slightly, it gets that stopper away from the radiator body, and watch out because it is sprung. Just gently let it unwind. There you go. And now there's no tension on this tool. And now we can carefully pull it out with a spring and also a bushing there. Now this is a brand new rear mech, so it looks lovely and clean inside. You should always have a little bit of grease on there, but if it's a used mech or a slightly older mech, I recommend just giving this a nice little clean up with some sort of parts cleaner or degreaser, and put some fresh grease onto that spring. Now we need to remove the spring and the bushing from the cage to one side, and there you go. That's a bit you don't need now. Now next up, now it's all out, again, give it a little clean up inside if you need to. This one's absolutely lovely. Next up is fitting the new Kolossos Oversized Pulley Cage, and you've got a new bushing on there too. I tend to replace that bushing every time I put one of these on, so you know it's all going to be nice and fresh and everything will work just as it should. You'll notice that there are 3 holes in the radiator cage itself. So the lightest hole is for if you're running time trials or something like that, where you don't want very much tension on this whatsoever. So you want as little resistance as possible. The middle hole is for if you're riding on road, so just your general road riding. That's pretty much the standard Shimano tension on a rear radiator cage. And then you've got the tightest hole there. This essentially feels like you've got a clutch on there. So if you're riding a lot of rough roads or gravel tracks, stick in that one, and yeah, it'll just mean that chain sits nice and tight. Okay, next up, we're going to remove that old bushing, slide it off, leave that with your old cage. Now this spring, make sure it's got a nice layer of grease on it, which this one already has. Just use some standard waterproof grease, something of the like. Don't need to go to town, just a nice smear on there will do it well. Now, with new bushing, you will see it's got a way around it needs to go. This covers up the hole that the spring is going to slide into. So make sure the lip is on the outside. Done nicely. And then I'm going to slide this over and on, pop it into that middle hole there. And then it kind of comes the tricky part of lining everything up into the cage. Body, pushing in there too. Little push. There you go. It's nice and free. And now you want to spin it back. So you want to preload that cage. Come on. There we go. Spin it back. So it's past the body stop and good old wiggle, you're in. Now so it doesn't spring out, you want to hold it. Hold it with your hand nicely. Get that pin you took out earlier. Pop it back into the derailleur body, such. And then get your T10 Allen key. There you go. Do it up. And it should hold itself in now. And then you don't need to tighten up too tight, just nice, reassuring tight. So yeah, 1.5, 2 Newton meter, something like that. You don't need to go crazy on that one. And there you go, there is your derailleur cage fitted. Next up, we're going to look at putting the rear wheel back in. And we'll also just check that chain length as well, make sure everything's running right, and set the B tension to see how low you want that jockey wheel to be sitting up against your cassette. So first of all, pop it back down. Smallest sprocket, it's nice and easy to get your rear wheel back in. There you go. Pop the wheel back in carefully. Yeah. And now we're going to refit the chain. Make sure it's on the right way around. Can help it's a nice new chain, but again, if you're using a used chain, just make sure like cassette, chain rings are all nice and clean, so it's going to run as efficiently as possible. As you can see here, the chain seems a little long already, but we're going to stick that split link in and give it a check, so you might need to adjust that B tension anyway. There we go. Easy. Move it to the top sprocket. There we are. I'm going to set that B tension. So to do this, we're going to take our 2mm Allen key, and there's a nice little bolt in the back of here. Typically we want around about 5mm between the top of the derailleur pulley teeth and the cassette tooth. At the moment you can see it's more like 10mm, so let's take that down. There you go, I think that's... And then just double check, popping a sprocket just below. Make sure when you shift up it's not overlapping, there's no undue friction there. Yeah, feels good. And then into the big ring. Make sure it's going to snap itself off. You always want to make sure that you're still able to go from the big ring and big ring at the back too. It's you shouldn't really do it, it's not very efficient because you cross chaining quite a lot and puts a bit of undue stress on the chain. But everyone does it. You want to make sure that if it does go into that gear, the derailleur still has a nice bit of play on it. Because if you do find yourself with a slightly too short a chain and you put yourself into that gear, the last thing you want to do is rip that rear mech off. You'll need to re-index the gears. As you can see here, it's not very happy, so let's have a look at that. So I'll just force it down 5 clicks. Let's try that one. much happier. There we go. Check that. Lower chain ring. This chain's obviously a bit too long, so we're going to take a link out of it. It's a little bit trial and error, but it's worth to get it right and have it too short. It's my nice. It's a nice Abbey tool, chain tool. Get a nice precision chain link removal. Back in. There we have it, perfect chain length. New Kogel oversized radiator cage on there with the ceramic bearings, all running beautifully smooth. Don't forget to like, subscribe and follow our Saddleback TV channel. And any questions, make sure you drop them in the comment section below. Thanks for watching.